the way the way that this was done was genius. Okay. And let me and I found out more information after this reveal happened. And I'm obviously not saying the title, even though it's on the screen, so you know what we're talking about. But the way they led up to this moment was just brilliant. So you know how Konami had that ET demo on the PlayStation Store that everyone who's a fan of survival horror games was pretty much an instant fan of. And then as quickly as it dropped on the PlayStation Store, it was gone. And basically cemented a lot of things like Konami not making any more AAA games, Hideo Kojima just, I think that really started the hard downfall of Konami. Others will probably disagree on that point, but yeah, it was pulled away. And some other, I wouldn't use copycats. When I say copycat, I don't mean it necessarily in a negative way, but other games came and with a demo. I think there was something that had a Kickstarter that it was like something Alley, or it was very similar first person survival horror, and I think that game actually was announced to be canceled, unfortunately, but it was very similar to PT. You know which one I'm talking about?
I don't think you're talking about Outlast.
Not Outlast, no.
Okay, because I think Outlast, either the first one or the second one, was put on. Um,
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
it's another game, horror survival game, Outlast 2.
Yeah, that's coming. My computer is doing funny things right now. I don't want to press my luck at all. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave that alone. There was a game. It was in the vein of PT, but that was actually canceled. So then this thing gets put out by Capcom. It's a demo, and I think the name of the demo was simply called Kitchen. Nothing else, just Kitchen. And first-person perspective game, very much like PT. You're in a disgusting, filthy kitchen, and like just horror vibes all around. And people were like, "Oh my goodness, Capcom, what is this? This is scary." So how they did this in the press conference, they have more of it. And I think they introduced it by saying, like, before kitchen, and like they have this character wake up, turn on their flashlight, they're in this
Kind of
old,
like a den, kind of. There's like a TV and a couch.
yeah, they get to that later, but they wake up. It seems like they wake up, they're in this dilapidated house, which is the house that has that kitchen in it. He goes down, goes into the kitchen, looks up at the door. Some creepy person just walks by the door, very much in the vein of like The Ring and, all of those movies. It does this fantastic job of just feeling like, okay, this is what Silent Hills should have been, like the next game.
Oh yeah.
And then and it doesn't even, it goes into a trailer at some point. Like the gameplay stops, goes into a trailer. You see these new characters. They seem like they're almost like detectives or something. Very moody music. I know I keep saying this, but the similarity to PT is undeniable.
Oh yeah.
In this whole presentation. And then you see the house, and you just see VII for 7 and then Resident Evil, just like it shows on the screen right now. Okay, so again, props to this reveal. This was done so well. I have to tip my hat to Capcom. They just handled this so masterfully with this build up with a demo, and then I think they like did another demo of it on PlayStation Plus later. Um, but oh my goodness, if this is the direction they're going with Resident Evil, my only issue is it doesn't tell us anything about like what the gameplay is going to be in. Is it all going to be first person perspective? They did announce that this is going to be one of the games that you can play 100% in VR, if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, you could do that if you want. And someone brought up this point. This is going to really separate gamers from VR gamers and non VR gamers whenever we get a term for that, because this is going to make some people that play VR games all the time not want to ever put on a VR headset. I'm convinced.
Yeah. Especially like, have you seen the game demo footage for this?
I haven't, but
That was one of the most. I'm a very strange person, and I think I've said this a few times. I I'm not a fan of horror anything. Horror movies, horror games, uh, horror books are about the only thing that I can handle. However, some sick, twisted part of me still likes watching other people play horror games. Just like, and half the time I don't even watch. Like, I have like my hands closed and I just see like their little window of themselves, and I just want to see their reaction of getting scared. Like, I don't want to be scared. I just want to see what someone else would look like being scared.
yeah.
But then there are some times where I was like, okay, I think I can handle it, and then it's just like I absolutely lose my mind because it scares me so much. This game, I saw uh, a couple people from Rooster Teeth play it, and that game, from the very beginning of the demo, had me just like cringed up in a ball, just like something's gonna happen and it's not gonna be good.
The suspense
It
is
leaves
really
you,
good.
it leaves you in that feeling the entire time, and there's no release. The whole game or the whole demo just like builds up, and just like there are so many things that they made me jump. And there was one time that I actually did scream, and it wasn't masculine, it was extremely feminine, and I don't feel bad about that at all. But just there's really only one like jump scare that's like clearly meant to scare you, and it's at like the end of it. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, or anyone who this is out like on PlayStation Store right now.
Yes.
For anyone who hasn't played it, or for anyone who hasn't seen it, I recommend that you go, if you're into this genre, go do it, go play it, watch it, whatever you feel most comfortable with. It is terrifying in every way that PT was terrifying. Oh my gosh, and it's definitely gory at parts, and
Yeah.
there's definitely I know what you were trying to say with like not necessarily like copycatting in a bad way, but there's definitely some similarities between like this and PT. This kind of feels like a mixture of like PT and Outlast kind of combined,
Hmm.
because there is a similar the demo between this and Outlast 2, which is also coming out sometime soon, was very similar. They both start out kind of like going into like this like very foresty looking uh, place, and then they both end up going into a house, and then everything just starts going like worse and worse and worse. Not going to say anything about Outlast 2 because I don't want to go down that path. You should check it out. It looks terrifying. But for this, definitely kind of had at least kind of like a first person's perspective of like Outlast. It definitely had that kind of feel of like maybe you're holding a camera or something like that, which at one point you
Hmm.
are, but you have like a flashlight to like look around and stuff. But this game is just, if they can do all that in a demo and make, I don't know how much saying, making me just like on the tip of my seat, just horrified the whole time. If they can do that with just the demo of the game, I can't imagine what the actual or like what the full game is going to be like. Uh, this game scared me.
I think it was designed to do that.
Yes.
I just hope. Okay, it's Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 is still my favorite. I don't know if it'll ever be topped, as far as I'm concerned. But you gotta keep Resident Evil still Resident Evil. Like with this, and I'm okay with this, with the changes that we're seeing, as long as I still get, you're still gonna be, shooting things. Like if it's just survival, if it's gonna be just another Outlast or Amnesia or something along that vein, I'm honestly not interested. Despite the fact that they did a really good job in unveiling this, um, I want my Resident Evil to be something that basically harkens back to 4. Um, and it does look like, hey, I'm okay with the B movie campiness being gone, which definitely seems like it. There's not a trace of it here. Like this is like modern horror games, done Capcom style. But I want that Resident Evil style to still be intact. But we will definitely have to wait and see.
Yeah.